Welcome to the NIntopics podcast. We are, live for those who are here live on Friday night at 8:30 p.m. on the Mike Odyssey channel, Paul Gill Network. And whenever Joycey decides to open her channel, we'll be there too, but not yet. But we're here live. We're here live. Shout out to everybody in chat. Shout out to everybody watching on or hearing us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. What's the other one? There's another one. There's is it iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, wherever podcasts are heard, you can listen to us there. So what's up, Nintopians? You've successfully launched the show that brings the hype and fixes the canon, or at least we try. So what's up, Nintopians? We promise you fully evergreen content most of the time. Meaning this show is always fun, always relevant, and never justified. Well, I mean, why would you want to justify, right? You can't justify fun. Here is your mission. If you love the show, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere a podcast can be found. And I am your host, Mike Odyssey. You can find me here, Paul Gill's Network channel, on Joycey's Future channel. Don't forget that we're going to hit the blue shell every single week. Don't get KO'd. Make sure to subscribe, like the button, leave a comment down below, and join the fun. All right, so grab your mushrooms and your master swords. Let's press start. It's nice to be here one more Friday. Talk about Nintendo stuff, right, Paul? How you doing?
Definitely fun.
How have you been? How are you doing today?
Good. Cramming in as much Resident Evil Requiem as I can. Oh my gosh. That's been my game for the last week. Love it. Perfect.
That's awesome. How about you, Joycey? How are you? How have you been?
Hello. How have you all been? I missed you guys last week. But you know, when you haven't seen family in a while and they come in town, I mean, you just got to do the family thing, you know?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Quick story. I promised I would tell you guys this last week, but I ended up not being able to be here.
Uh-huh.
So last week, I was helping my mom out with some things. So I went over her house and spent the night, and had the poor lady like, Mom, please make me your famous chili. And so she made me some chili and everything. And I said, Mommy, come on, you've got to see me play Zelda at least a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm explaining the story to her and booting up the game. And I was playing on my my completed file.
Yeah.
Like I'm done. There's nothing else to do. So I just spawn in some random place, and I'm like, I don't even know what the heck is over here. And mind you, I haven't played in since probably around this time last year. So I'm completely out of practice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, how do I do my bow? And oh, that's right, I can attach things to my bow and everything. And so I'm just like in this random area, and I'm like, okay, let me go find an enemy so she can see something entertaining. And my mom is like, so where is he? He running to? Why is he running? Well, Mama, that's how you get around in the game. Why is it raining? Yeah, Mom.
Condensation.
So Mom, the way this works is, and what's that? Mom, Mom. That's okay. So, Mom, these are Lionel's, okay? And the way Lionel, why is he a man face and a horse body? And is he a tiger? No, Mommy, no. Okay, Mommy, let's leave the Lionel alone. Let's go find something else. Run into an ice Gleok. What's a Geok? Mommy, it's a 3-headed dragon. Okay, Mommy, just watch. This is cool. Why is it only shooting at you? Never change, Mama. Never change.
Never change.
Never change.
I mean, that's a fun commentary to have, right? You can't beat that. Having your mama add a commentary to your gameplay.
Was she counting pixels and frame rates and stuff, or was she just having a good time?
Exactly.
She was not looking at pixels and frame rates. Actually, she didn't really even comment even on the art style. She was just like, I have no idea what's going on. Oh wait, she also said, how do you learn to do all this? And I said, well, Mom, I'm completed. I've completed the game. I said, but as you start the game, you learn different things, and that's how you learn what each move and what each button does. She said, this is all too complicated. Anyway, let me show you how to work my new shower. It's digital. My mom's whole house is digital.
Oh wow.
And cool. She knows how to work everything.
That's cool.
But she thinks she can't pick up a Nintendo game. Mm-hmm. I'm working on her, y'all. I'm working on her.
I mean, that's good. That's good. I know my father-in-law, I mean, passed away. He's in heaven now. But when he was like the best Call of Duty player I've ever seen ever in my life. Wow. And he was like 80 years old. Crazy Call of Duty player. I'm like, what the heck is it? Like, he was like brilliant player. I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, and we found out he was really quiet, but after he passed away, we found out he was a veteran. He actually he was in Vietnam. And I'm like, how do we find out all this amazing history? You know, I mean, our parents are just full of surprises, you know. So I'm glad you had that experience. Your mama added that commentary. It was priceless. You will never forget about that ever, you know. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And of course, it's immortalized now in the Mike Galaxy channel on the podcast. So shout out to the Queen's mama, Joyce's mama,
the Empress.
So on my end, I have to warn everybody. I gotta issue a stern, serious warning to everybody in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Do not ever, if you love your life. I told Paul and I told Josie this before we went live. If you love your life, if you love your time, you appreciate spending time with your kids, your mama, your auntie, like Josie just spent time with her mom, right? Do not pick up Pokemon Pokopia. Don't do it. Do not do it. That game is cursed. That game puts a spell on you. You will. I'm telling you. Like I'm not lying about this. I wasn't even gonna play it over the weekend because I have a lot of things to do. We're moving, selling the house, moving. There's a lot of things we have to, like fixing the yard. If I take that thing on, and I know I wasn't gonna be in the podcast if I had played the game. So last night I decided, you know what? It's 10 o'clock at night. It's like the end of the day. Let me go ahead and turn it on. I blinked. It was 5 a.m. It was 5 a.m. And the crazy thing about it is it's 5 a.m. It's still dark outside. And it's not like I wanted to stop playing. It's that I just noticed the time. That's it. That's all I did. If I didn't take the time to look at the clock, I think I still would have been there right now playing it. That's how good. That's how bad the game is, but that's how good the game is.
So I gotta see the issue. It sounds like you spent money well spent. That's what that sounds like.
I did.
It sounds like a satisfied customer.
I did, and I gotta give a huge shout out, man. Nintendo. I think Nintendo does own part of. Do they own Koei Tecmo? Are they related to Koei Tecmo in any way, or they're just like part? They just kind of collaborate.
Good collaborative partners, but yeah, they don't own them. Okay,
well, but Nintendo, you should consider either buying them or consider having them make every other Pokemon game. Because man,
I mean, they did Hyrule Warriors too.
There you go. They're a
good company. They do Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, I don't know what Nintendo's like waiting for, unless they're not for sale, But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah. So shout out to everybody out there, brave souls playing Pokemon Pokopia. I don't know how you're gonna get anything done. I wish you the best of luck, everyone, and just have fun. Don't forget to hug your kids, your loved ones before you do, because it'll be like that movie Click from Adam Sandler. You guys saw that movie?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
You push the button, and I was like, wait a minute, where am I? That's what happened to me. I'm like, it was like a trance. And the moment I blink, I'm like, what the heck is it? 6 hours of my life just gone for some reason.
You remember when Tears of the Kingdom came out? You and I joked about the exact same thing happening.
Yeah.
And you said the same thing. You're like, why is it always suddenly 3 a.m. when you're playing Tears of the Kingdom?
Exactly. Yeah, this was even worse because I'm like, it's 5 a.m. I've never played that long in my life. And I got bad eyes, imagine. So it's just
it
crazy.
Sounds like you're enjoying yourself. So I fail to see what the issue is. So
yeah.
that's how I feel.
It's good. Anyway, you guys have seen the news. Yes, we are going to talk about it, but I have to put a very, very big, giant disclaimer in front of what we are about to discuss. First, we're going to be talking about Nintendo. Nintendo is suing who? Paul. Who? Toysy. Who? Who are they suing?
Woo, woo, woo.
I mean, I know Nintendo loves to sue, but they love it. It's like in their DNA. It's air to them. Like their lawyers. I'm sure that Furukawa and Nintendo's lawyers, they're probably related. For some reason, they're related. They have reference together, and so it's like every morning. Okay, so how's this lawsuit going? How's this lawsuit going? How's this lawsuit going? Who are we suing today? Nobody. Who can we sue? Oh, wait. USA. Let's go ahead and sue the USA. All right. And so that's what's happening. Nintendo is suing the United States of America. And we're going to be covering it today, but the disclaimer has to do with this is a family-friendly channel. It's always been, it will always be. In no way, shape, or form will this topic that we are about to talk about will get either political or we won't mention any politics whatsoever. All we will do is describe the case, the reason for the case, and what the outcome could be. Okay, so neither Paul, Joyce, or I will tolerate from anybody getting political, getting offensive, or getting this or whatever like that. This is purely entertainment and informational. Okay, so all the mods in the chat, you guys have the green light. We're gonna keep this the community safe. Okay, community safe. And so anybody who gets out of line or says something they're not supposed to, or points the finger at anything, you guys have an automatic timeout. No ban, because this is I understand everybody's passionate, but automatic timeout. Okay, so everybody, all the mods on high alert for that. All we're gonna do is just talk about it, what this could be for Nintendo if they win this lawsuit or if they lose, because there's that possibility. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and summarize what is happening. Okay, so here is the summary. Nintendo versus the U.S. government. I wish I had some sound effects. Let's see. I do have sound effects. Wait. I mean, I guess it has to do with money because the price wasn't right. The price was not right at this point in time. Let me go ahead and turn off the background music because it doesn't go well with the Price is Right music. There we go. Is the price right? No, it's not because of the tariff. Because of the tariffs.
Emotional damage.
We've all had emotional damage in the past. So Nintendo versus the United States of America. All right. At the heart of the let me go ahead and then summarize really quickly here. But with this music again. All right. With that music in the background. At the heart of this legal action is a dispute over tariffs. It's like a tax. It's tax If you don't know what tariffs are, is tax on imports. All right, so which are essentially taxes paid by the companies to bring products into our country. While Nintendo is a Japanese company, many of the internal parts and the assembly for their consoles, including the Switch and Switch 2, take place in China. China is in the beautiful, that big, giant country. Because of the specific trade rules, goods imported from China were hit with a specific higher tax. Oh, what sound was that? Anyway, specific higher tax rate. Now, Nintendo is filing a lawsuit following the recent court rulings, which determined that those specific taxes in a short period of time, where I think the taxes were raised about for like 100% or something like that, some weirder, were collected unlawfully. Because the courts decided the taxes should not have been applied at that particular time, Nintendo is now seeking a refund of the millions of dollars paid to the U.S. government during that particular part of time or period. So this is not from the beginning of the Nintendo Switch 2 Lite. So now it's just that particular period of time. Since then, update. Those tariffs are no longer in place. It was during that particular period of time. All right. So the product line starting. This is like a summary of the product line starting in August 2025. Fans likely noticed some changes, but these changes were taking place before when the original tariffs were implemented. The OLED rose for $50. Oh, this happened while that particular period of time, because the OLED and Switch Lite rose after the Switch 2 were out. And so the reason why they had to raise the prices for those had to do with this specific argument right now. So the OLED was raised by $50, and the Lite was raised by $30 and $40. Accessories like items like the Pro controllers, Joy-Cons, also saw price hikes, roughly $5 to $10. Okay, so if you were asking yourself, why did Nintendo give us a price at launch and then all of a sudden rose the prices? Well, this is your answer. All right, this is a partial recoup. They're only trying to recuperate part of the money, right? While these prices adjustments help Nintendo partially recoup the extra money, they were losing to taxes. So Nintendo did raise the prices. They made the profit back. But their argument is that even them making the prices back, these tariffs, the price hikes could have affected business, which is kind of fair, because prices were high already, and you having to raise the price again might have scared away some buyers. Okay. What this means now, the lawsuit is Nintendo's attempt to recover the remaining balance of the illegal taxes, and it's not politically related, but it's only business related. It's like in the business part of it. All right, so that is what's happening. That is what's happening right now. Nintendo is after trying to recoup the specific that specific time frame where the taxes were raised on China, not directly on Japan. So this is not like an issue between Japan and China and United States. This is an issue between United States and China, and the tariffs were raised at that specific moment that affected trade, not only for Nintendo, but other companies too. And Nintendo is not alone in this lawsuit. There's also Costco and other companies are also involved. Nintendo just made the headlines for us because we are gamers, and I'm sure our feeds are gaming related, and that just kind of smacked us in the face. But there are other companies also involved in this lawsuit here. Now, what we're going to be talking about is how does this affect Nintendo, right, moving forward? The United States is Nintendo's biggest market. Do we agree on that, Paul, Joycey?
Yeah.
Nintendo, United States is their biggest, their biggest audience, the biggest market. And I do agree in part that raising the prices could have alienated some people and with buying things, but the prices were already high to begin with. You know what I mean? With that $80 mark hit there, that was before taxes, before the tariffs were even implemented. The $80 game was already mentioned, and this was confirmed by Nintendo. The prices do not reflect the tariffs implemented later on. The prices for the Nintendo Switch, $449. Neither the Mario Kart 8, World at $80 or the games at $70 reflected any tariffs whatsoever, and this was confirmed by Nintendo. What was affected directly by Nintendo was after the fact they had to raise the price for the Nintendo Switch Lite, which are old consoles, plus the accessories which were manufactured in China. And is it Vietnam also? Vietnam was the other country that Nintendo also used to manufacture things. Am I correct?
Vietnam.
Yeah. I know it's two countries. Yeah, Vietnam and China, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I just want to get first your thoughts on the whole thing, right? What do you think Nintendo is kind of trying to accomplish here? And also, give me your scenario. What do you think might happen if Nintendo wins this? Will it affect us as consumers? Or if they lose, how will that affect us as well? What could be the snowball effect after this? So, Joyce, you want to start?
I don't want to say much, but I it's nothing personal. It's just business. It's just business. So if they believe that they have a case, I don't see anything wrong with a court hearing it or a judge looking at it or whatever the case may be. Use your legal recourse if you have to.
Yeah. I agree with Joyce. Some things are not personal. Some things are just business, and it's part of like the business acumen. Every company has lawyers who advise you on what to do in order to take some actions in order for the benefit of the company. I'm sure Nintendo values the business of the United States. They do. I'm sure they love the United States, and of course they want nothing but no harm at all. So we're looking at this as a business move. It's not really like, oh, Nintendo hates all Americans or the state. None of that stuff. This is purely business and for a specific time. Paul, what do you think?
It wasn't on my bingo card for 2025,
Right?
but I think looking at it as a business transaction, this isn't against the people. This isn't against the consumers. It isn't even against the country itself, the nation. It's just the country that has the business decision and has money tied behind it is what it is. So it has to be looked at from that perspective, because that's essentially what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There is potentially a lot to be made. I mean, if you factor in millions and millions of adjusted controllers, peripherals, consoles, in the case of NS, NS Lite, NS OLED, a shift in them delaying when they were going to make the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order by a certain amount of time, and how that may or may not have impacted pre-orders and investors and market volatility, etc. There probably is Nintendo's lawyers at hand saying, this is how much we potentially lost or that we could have made more of. And this is why we're doing it, because it's tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars on the table. And that's what we got to go at. And that's what we're going for. At the end of the day, it will be determined by people that know a lot more on the subject than me of, is it indeed not timely that it was incorporated? And these companies do deserve their money back, or it's within the parameters that, despite the Supreme Court saying no, it's still an okay and sorry, no. It's going to be one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose the best case scenario for Nintendo is they win and they get a few $100 million bonus. Will that impact the consumer? The safe answer is no, it's not going to help you. And on the flip side, if the US government says no, it's also not going to hurt the consumer, probably. However, the optimistic side is that a overly appreciative Nintendo, in this case, doesn't like issue out refunds for consumers, but it is like something along the lines of the ambassador program back in 2011 when the Nintendo 3DS released in March. Later on in November or so, it's like, hey, if you bought a 3DS early, we're going to give you a little bit of a kickback because we're dropping the price now. So if you're one of those early consumers, here's 10 GBA titles for you and a little digital sticker that says ambassador program. Maybe semi-realistically, Nintendo's like, for those of you that have a Nintendo Switch 2, if you purchased it in the first 9 months, we are treating you to a free digital title of your choice, retailed at $20 or below, or we're just issuing a $5 eShop card to all people. Maybe like something like that. And they don't even have to say, and they wouldn't say this, due to the government giving us our money that we were hoping, we're going to share. It wouldn't even do that. It would just be like, hey, let's throw together a digital game, a new Tetris 99 title, something like that, something that might be locked behind expansion pack, but we're just going to give it to everybody, or something that was tied behind NSO. We're just going to give it to everyone, kind of like they gave Jump Rope for free. Yeah. And they won't say it's because of this, but it's going to be of a nice timeline to sync up well with them winning by giving something back. That's one possibility. Another possibility is the prices of existing things like Pro Controller 2, Nintendo Switch Lite, and OLED model go back to where they were. And in the case of those three consoles from previous generation, they finally are able to receive a price drop. But that's a little bit more wishful territory. I don't know if it'll go that far. Now, like I said, realistically, nothing either end is going to affect. Optimistically, a couple of scenarios. Negatively, you could say, okay, not only are we losing, but we're not going to regain past losses. We unfortunately have to, at this time, make up the difference that this is now going to lead us to raise NSO from before. This is now going to make us have to raise Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe not. But like there are a couple of realistic positions on either end of the spectrum. But for the most part, safe to say, nothing's going to happen to the consumer either way. And like I said, whether it's right or wrong, folks that know more than me are going to determine that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you made some really, really good points. We have to also note Nintendo did make. I mean, Nintendo is and was profitable since the Nintendo Switch 2 came out. They made it clear in all of their financial meetings. In no shape or form did they actually mention anything about this. That I'm pretty sure that, I mean, if they were preparing this lawsuit, I'm sure they couldn't even talk about it until everything was kind of said and done. But they are a profitable company. They did sell 17 million units, and counting and counting. And so same thing with software. Mario Kart World at $80, it's sold, it's selling. And so we have to make sure that we keep that in mind here. Nintendo is yes, they're making a business move that it's not like they're the victim. Like they're really struggling for the money right now. They are very profitable. Nintendo Switch itself, their predecessor, was immensely profitable. Papa, are we almost there at the 160? 160 million?
Getting there. It's still got a few million away, but yeah.
I mean, if 4 million is better, is by the time it's all said and done, and Nintendo Switch is going to become the best-selling console of all time. You know what I mean? And so, we're talking about a highly successful company here, and they're just basically what they're doing is just making sure that if they can recoup some money, it's in their right to try to recoup that money, just like any business. Like I would do it, and anybody would do it in their position, right? When it comes to scenarios, whether if they win, first thing, the price points for the video games and the system were set before tariffs, as they confirmed. The only thing that was really affected were the accessories, and accessories, and because of this again, I have to make sure I repeat this because in case you're just getting here, this is based on only a certain amount of time, not the entire life of the Nintendo Switch. Is during the time where these extra tariffs were added on top of China at the time, and so during that time, that's when everybody got affected on their end. So what they're seeking is retributions for that period of time, not for the entire life of the Nintendo Switch, not for the tariffs that were on before at the regular amount, right? They're looking for that hike, and what the Supreme Court ruled was that hike at that particular moment of time was done so unlawful. That's them in the court. Like Paul said, people who know better than we do are in charge of making the rulings, are investigating and taking care of this, and I'm sure everybody's in good hands. And so us as Nintendo fans, all we can do is just sit back and watch, right? Nintendo Switch is still going to be $549, $449, $599 with bundles, like with Pokemon or with Mario Kart World. Any scenario that I think might come out of this, if Nintendo wins, we won't see anything. I don't think we'll see anything at all. The prices on games have been set. That has not gone up. The prices on accessories, they are also set. And if they are continuing to sell how they are now, I don't see why Nintendo might drop the price if they think that they've hit a good point where things are currently selling, right? Where I would see a price drop is back on the Nintendo Switch and Switch Lite. I think those two might come down again because that will benefit Nintendo more. That will get rid of that extra stock, push Nintendo Switch over that 160 million. They wanted. I'm sure there's somebody in Nintendo back in their office right now looking at that number like, how can we get there? Like, oh, we need to get there. That we're so close, and that will just be big for Nintendo. If they lose, on the other hand, I really don't know what could be done at that point, whether we lose or they lose, or I'm guessing that on the consumer side there won't be that much difference happening, since what has happened already happened. Nintendo did raise the prices, and they did raise the prices to kind of meet what they were paying so that they could recoup some of that money back, and they have recouped some of that money back. So that's the case, guys. Nintendo is suing the United States, but the Treasury Department, the business part, the business area of the United States. Let's say Sony and Nintendo are enemies, but guess what? They're working. Nintendo Pictures and Sony Pictures are working on The Legend of Zelda live action. How can that be? Sony and Nintendo are enemies. Hey, two companies, big companies, can coexist because they're that massive. They're huge, right, JC?
It's not nothing personal. It's just business.
Exactly. It's business.
And I will say this: there is a such thing as business going between companies going sour. Mm-hmm. So I will admit I did think it was kind of interesting that Sony was like, yeah, we'll go in for this movie that has nothing to do with Sony and everything to do with Nintendo, which is one of our direct competitors.
Yeah.
If they consider Nintendo a competitor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry guys, I think I picked up another little bug or something. But yeah, it's just business. Yeah, so
trust me, Sony Pictures is going to be very lucrative with the Legend of Zelda movie. They're gonna benefit massively with that movie. I mean, they have Spider-Man already, and they're not even controlling it. It's Marvel unit, but they are all Marvel's making the movies. They're benefiting from it. Nintendo's making the movies. They benefit from it. So it's like a similar kind of. Although they do own the IP for Spider-Man, they're letting Marvel take control of it because they know that they're going to make more money with that. With The Legend of Zelda, is Sony Pictures, right? And I think Sony Pictures and Sony the PlayStation department is completely different side, and Sony could be making money at the end. And so, like there you said, it's business. Business is business, right? Like Paul and I can have, let's say Paul and I have a business. We're both in entertainment. He does skits and he does countdowns and he does this and that. And then I let's say I do also skits and I have countdowns, but there's one part of our business that will benefit from our collaboration, right? And if that's lucrative for Paul and is lucrative for me, we're gonna work together, and then guess what? We might be competing on against each other on the other side of the business, but on this particular point right here, hey, this is business. This is good for both of us, and that's what Sony is doing with Zelda and Nintendo. So, and guess what? We the fans are the ones who benefit from it 100%. So at the end, who's complaining about it, right? Anybody complaining about the movie made by Sony? Same people, nobody is.
All the movie has to do is be good. That's it. Actually, no, it just has to be decent.
decent.
I require good, but I mean, for it to be a hit, it just has to be decent.
Okay. So with that said, any last thing you want to mention, Paul or Joyce, about Nintendo is suing who? Who?
No.
Who? All right. So it's time to get to our second topic and the main topic of this podcast, our evergreen section. We're talking about the Nintendo Wii. The what? The Wii?
Wee. All the way home. Okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Take it away, Paul.
Wii was codenamed Revolution, and that's because it really was a revolution. It was the market disruptor. Nintendo knew that they had to do something different because the industry was getting bigger and the percentage that they were getting of the video game console sales was shrinking. NES, Super NES, N64, Nintendo GameCube, they were all going down, not in quality, but in how many sales they had. So fortunately, a couple of years prior to Wii, Nintendo incorporated a 3-pillar strategy, with that third pillar being the Nintendo DS to complement the Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo GameCube. The DS was a huge success, but they knew, well, we do need a new home console. So rather than going back into the horsepower race with the next most powerful system, kind of like how NES, N64, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo GameCube were right up there at the competing levels of power, if not the most powerful per generation. Wii was, all right, a little bit stronger than a GameCube, but it introduced the Wii Remote, a paradigm shift in how you play games. With this simple remote and a clever marketing campaign, they struck lightning in a bottle. They brought apart motion gaming simplified. You don't have to have dexterous finger controls, fine-tuned motor skills with your thumbs. If you knew how to hold a TV remote controller, which many people do, and point it at the screen, you could play Wii. If you have a basic understanding of holding a flashlight and aiming, you know how to hold Wii. It could be held on its side, and you would have a way how to go back to playing old NES days. It was Nintendo's first fully online from the get-go designated home console with internet play. It was also backwards compatible with the Nintendo GameCube, and it launched with a significant amount of titles, the biggest one being Wii Sports, which, thanks to Reggie Fils-Aimé recommending it be packed in North American Wiis, it was a really good move in the end. You had to purchase it separately in countries such as Japan, but part of the game's success and taking off in the US was, no, this is going to make everybody understand what this system can do. And Clever marketing campaign with the two businessmen going to people's houses saying, "We would like to play." It just caught on. The name Wii was easy to say. In French, it meant yes, as in yes, I accept Wii. In English, it's we as in this is for we, this is for us to enjoy. And in Japan, Nintendo's own country of origin, it didn't have anything complex such as the letter L, which doesn't exist as a sound in their normal vernacular. It had complemented, which you can see on the screen right now if you're a video viewer, a nunchuck accessory so that you could play more complex traditional games that you did play in the previous era with an analog stick and stuff like that. But Wii Sports alone was a real big hit. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess was another launch game that took the GameCube title, actually made it release a couple of weeks earlier on Wii, and allowed you to swing your Wii remote around, emulating Link with his sword. Third parties were on board too. You had the likes of Red Steel, Rayman Raving Rabbids, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz, Trauma Center, Wii Play, Excite Truck, Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, and Call of Duty 3. So there was a good mixture of first and third party games, but nothing hit quite harder than Wii Sports and The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. The Blue Ocean strategy was to sell this system to the lapsed gamer, someone who left the video game industry because there started to become too many buttons on controllers after the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or the older gamer that or the older individual that maybe was never a gamer that might want to try gaming as a new hobby. We took off. It had the balance board eventually. It had many games. It was practically sold out for the first 2 years. And it was selling, but always being sold out until like February of 2009, until like 2009 was finally when, you could walk in and just find one. Other than that, as soon as stores were shipped new ones, they were restocked. I mean, they as soon as they were shipped, they were sold. They were just flying off the shelves. The system went on to becoming, at the time, Nintendo's best-selling console ever, doing a whopping 101.63 million. It sold over 900 million pieces of software, so the attach ratio was quite high, meaning it didn't just sell a lot of systems, it sold a lot of games, so people were generally pretty happy with the console. It didn't get every new franchise, every new game that generation that Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 received, because there was a power difference. So you didn't get like the birth of Assassin's Creed on it. You didn't get Grand Theft Auto 4 or Street Fighter 4. But companies also couldn't deny the fact of like, we've got to support this thing. So you still saw Activision putting out original, built from the ground up Call of Duty titles for Wii. Maybe Street Fighter 4 didn't come out, but Capcom said, hey, we've got to have Street Fighter representation of some sort. So they made Tatsunoko versus Capcom for the system. Okay, it didn't get Final Fantasy 13, but it got Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the Crystal Bearers. So there were ways that companies still supported the console without putting some of the bigger, heavier hitters that were multi-platform here. That meant that it missed out on some. It didn't have Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, but it had Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And I could kind of go on and on. And first party support, it brought things like Donkey Kong back, which we didn't have a 2D big one in a while at that point. A couple of Zelda titles, beginning of the end of the generation, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, respectively. A pair of 3D Mario titles, a new Super Mario Brothers Wii title, plenty of third parties, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, GameCube support. It was a great system, and I have a lot of fond memories with it. I don't know if that was too much or not enough. We hit, for me, really, really well, because you sometimes really associate Well, I mean, I think we do it for a lot of things, but like if something big is going on in your life, in your personal life, and
Yeah.
then in your entertainment life, something is syncing up, like you'll forever remember that. I remember graduating with my Bachelor of Science degree in kinesiology, which is all of the study of the human body and body movement, while Wii is coming out, pairing my love of video games with my knowledge of kinesiology into a video game system. Like they made Wii for me. I understand the dynamics of the system and how it was going to be useful for folks that maybe had a cerebral palsy or multiple sclerosis, or folks that just couldn't use a thumb or had one hand. So I saw the opportunity for this to be used in a whole different demographic. And then the balance board came, and I'm like, I'm working with this technology behind the scenes in school. I knew that was going to be a hit. I went to that E3 to play this for the first time. So when the system came out, I'm like, I'll always lump in that beautiful time of, man, Wii meant a lot to me when it came out. And yeah, until the Nintendo Switch, this was the best-selling system. And I think, I could only imagine, what if this system came out also with the power comparable to Xbox 360 and PS3? I can't imagine what could it have been at that point. Even of a longer of a shelf life, even more of the third-party support, but everything that made it work. Perfect price, perfect launch game. Yeah. Great system.
Good job, Paul. I really enjoyed that history, that history take back, and you hit all the marks. Nintendo Wii was definitely a system to remember, and to a point where people still have it and play it every day today. I know my daughters, my wife and I, we still have the Wii. We still have everything. Whenever we play bowling, they would prefer to play it on the Wii Sports than play Nintendo Switch Sports. They want to play with the nunchuck and play bowling. So that's how influential it was, how it still is in many homes, right? And so I believe that if Wii ever comes to NSO and they issue that nunchuck that you can buy and then have Wii Sports on NSO, that's gonna be a big deal for Nintendo fans. So be able to relive that and play that, because that's when it all began, especially when they packed in the game and everybody had access to Wii Sports, which is very cool. My favorite game from the Wii era, of course was Wii Sports. The tennis one, I was obsessed with tennis. I was obsessed with, of course, bowling. I did not play. I guess you guys know I didn't play Twilight Princess. I'm playing Twilight Princess now. I didn't play it on the Wii. I also played Skyward Sword on the Switch, the HD version. I know Skyward Sword was available on the Wii also with the motion controllers. I wish I had that. I wish I knew then what I know now is what I want to say, but I think I did play Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the Wii. I also played there's this other game called, I think it was Phantasy Star. Is it Phantasy Star? There was another game that I played that I was really heavily into RPGs, because at the time I had a PlayStation. And so I was really into the Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10. And so I was like in that. I was just fine. At that moment, I was following the Final Fantasy lines, because during that period of time is when the best of them released. We had Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, and then they had 10-2, and then and so on. So, what do you think, Joyce? What do you remember the most about the Wii?
Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
Naturally. It was so crazy because that was the system that I got back into gaming on. So it was Twilight Princess that brought me back, but it was on the Wii. And believe it or not, I still actually prefer that version. Let's see here, what else was on there? Also, that had virtual console,
Uh-huh.
right? And I was able to download most of the other Zeldas, and that's how I caught up on Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and a few of the 3DS games and everything. So I have fond memories. Absolutely. You know, I'm not as in depth, unfortunately, as Paul, but I had some good memories with that thing.
Listen, Paul is Mr. Nintendo. Nobody's as in depth as Paul. Paul lived it all through the childhood. Every E3, Miyamoto was in his backyard. I'm sure that Miyamoto cut Paul's hair out when he was younger, or babysat or something like that. You know, it's just you can't compete with Paul in that area. So don't feel bad, Joyce.
That's fine.
I think it's only fair. It's only fair that we take a little trip back into memory lane. Not only visually as we're doing. See now. By the way, I mean, shout out to all the elders who stood up and were playing Wii like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it made you feel young again in a way, because I remember a lot of people. There's this place where there's this home I went one time with my school, and it wasn't a school. It was a club. Is it a club? I think it was a youth. I think it was a youth in church. But we went to this old home to visit elders, and they were playing Wii. They had their own class with a big screen and on a projector, and they were all playing Wii. They were playing tennis, and they were playing bowling, and they were just so active and having so much fun. And I think that the Wii did that, right? The Wii brought people off their couches and on their feet and moving and enjoying, you know. And I think it was Miyamoto had and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Miyamoto had a health scare at one point where he needed to be more active, and so he was inspired by himself getting active, moving more. For the Nintendo Wii, he wanted people to be more active and kind of work out more. I read that somewhere. It was a long time ago. I could have the details completely wrong, but the Wii was Miyamoto's baby, as when it comes to the idea of standing up and having that motion and having that being active with that. So with that, I think it's only fair that we give our audio listeners a little bit of nostalgia, just like we give our viewers that are watching the show live with this. Let me go ahead and share this a little bit here. I mean, already we're back there. we're transported back there. This is me building my me, giving it a huge nose, eyes super wide apart, big giant afro. Just taking the little meter all the way to the chubby side. Trying to make it as crazy as possible, just to have fun. And then I had all my family members just create their own me's too. And then Paul said something earlier, like, wait a minute, that makes sense. Nintendo made Wii for me. So I was creating the me on the Wii.
Even the logo. Yeah. I didn't even touch the logo. It was two eyes, in which the eyes were both two Wii remotes, but also symbolizing two people playing together.
Yeah.
Clever marketing. Clever logo. Simple.
Yeah, and if you take that, you turn around and then flip it, it's me.
Yeah.
Turn it around and flip it, it's me. So I mean, whoever was in charge of the marketing for this, the Wii, you know Paul by any chance? Who was the president at the time?
Reggie Fils-Aimé and Satoru Iwata.
Okay,
well,
so
in respectively, U.S. and Japan. Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Because there were two creatives, right? There were creative people and so it just makes sense that they made something so totally unforgettable, right? And so let me know in the chat, you guys share your stories about the Nintendo Wii. It says having hope says I only played Wii Sports and Wii Play with my family. Never played it by myself. There you have it. There you have it. It became a system that you wanted to play with others. It's like you wanted to play with others. And yeah, I remember we play with all those little games and the little alien and the shooting games. That was just super fun. That shooting game reminded me, and for those of you who have been to Disney, of that Toy Story ride. You remember, Paul? The Toy Story ride where you go.
Which one?
This is Toy Story ride. You go in, you sit down, and you start shooting things.
Yeah. Like Buzz Lightyear's something or other. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was also a Toy Story game, that same game on the Wii. It was a shooting game. It was the same exact game that they had in arcade in ride form at the theme park. They had it also on the Wii. And that was one of my favorite games because I always like shooting games like that. You know,
Toy Story Mania.
Toy Story Mania. There you have it. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Like the theme park. Yeah.
Yeah, and the game was called Toy Story Mania, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that's the game. You're right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it was a pretty cool moment. So, any last thoughts on the lava? Jesse, you okay? You okay?
Yeah, I think I picked up something. I was sick earlier this week.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You're still carrying.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Mike?
I think you're still carrying a little bit of it.
I think so. You know what my favorite thing about Wii? I was trying to think about what the game was, and it finally hit me. It was Punch Out on Wii.
Ooh,
and for some reason, some way, somehow, I can't believe it. I still have certain muscle memory from the original Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could turn your Wii to the side and play it that way. And it kind of feels almost like the same muscle memory as the NES. So
there you go.
That was cool.
And Donkey Kong was in this game.
Hey, that is Donkey Kong Country?
That's Punch Out.
Punch Out.
But Donkey Kong was in this game.
In the Punch Out game?
Uh-huh.
You fought against Donkey Kong?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Sorry. I gotta go back and play it. That is super interesting.
I think he's like a special, like you have to like unlock him or something, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty cool. All right, friends. Wait, hold up. That's Paul. That's us. All right, guys. Any last words? You're not dying. we're just nearing the end. So any last thoughts on anything we spoke about today, or anything you want to add, or anything you want to share? Oh,
nothing more on the ad from today's topics, other than I gotta say, if you are old enough to play it and not too scared, I have to recommend Resident Evil Requiem because I have been enjoying the heck out of it. Yeah. It's rated M for mature because it makes the check marks, language, violence, blood, gore, horror, yep. But if you're okay with that, high quality game. Full recommendation. That's it.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Rated M, Paul recommended. Anything else you want to add?
Beyond that, you could find me on social media platforms such as X and YouTube on @Paul Network, creating some content every day, and that's about it.
That's awesome. You can find the countdown guy / historian / historian for real, because if you go on Paul's channel, you'll find history there. Like you go watch Paul's videos, like the older ones. Okay, you'll find some treasure in there. Trust me. And then Joycey, any last words?
That's scary.
I can't believe we all kind of forgot about this, but Mario movie direct, y'all.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah.
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was
pencil that in your books.
It didn't come as a surprise to me. I was expecting at least one more trailer for the Mario movie, especially near Mario Day, right? Because it's one day before Mario Day. For those of you listening or listening to the podcast at a later date, it is Mario movie season. This is the time of the year where Super Mario Galaxy, the movie, has come out. And if you look at the newest poster, it reveals 3 new characters that they haven't spoken about, which is Wart. Wart is back. We got the mouse, and we got the what's the other guy? Birdo from Super Mario Brothers 2, the dream. And so who knows if they reveal those characters via the poster, who knows what other characters they might reveal during that direct. We'll talk about it next week, the other podcast. So yeah, Josie, any last word? I mean, any last words? Those
were my last words for the seat. That was my close. Those were my closing thoughts.
Your closing thoughts?
That's what we're going to call it.
Your closing thoughts. There you go.
You told me to come up with a name. Our closing thoughts.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So anything you want to add to that?
Mario direct on Monday. I don't know when we're getting a general direct, but don't lose hope. The year is not over.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that? Anything? Anything you want to add to that?
No.
How about that? Anything you want to add to that?
That was funny. That was funny. Yeah.
Well, you can find Joycey. This is the part
where y'all go follow me on the Twitters at DJ Joycey. I'm just a crazy old lady who loves video games. I'm sorry, Mike.
You're good.
I jacked all of that up.
You're good.
Get the show, Mike. I'm tired.
Anyway, you can find me here at the Odyssey. You guys know I started a brand new show. It is called Direct News. It is a live news show taking place Monday through Thursday. Friday, I upload a video that we do have the NIntopics podcast like we have tonight. But yeah, Nintendo Direct News Monday through Thursday. I want to thank you guys for the immense support that we have been getting over every day. We do the live news, every day at 5 p.m., 5 to 5:15. I go live around those times, and then we hit the news running. A lot of you have thanked me for doing the news right away at the beginning of the video. That way, when you watch the live stream, you can just enjoy the rest while getting the information first. So if you have not enjoyed Direct News, you can hit it right now. There's a couple of live streams on there right now, and it takes place Monday through Friday, around 5 p.m. to 5:15. That's around the time we go live, and then we cover everything newsworthy, right? Rumors, whatever. We cover everything news. We do analysis also, and then we cover. We have the main topic of the video. Could be 1, could be 2. It's been going pretty well. I'm happy to announce that one of our live streams hit 800 viewers at one point, and that was fantastic. It wasn't even a big giant topic. It was just one of those days that the algorithm picks you up, and I'm happy and I'm grateful to all of you. We hit we're almost close to 57,000 because of that, and so we're just a couple of subscribers, not even 100, a couple of subscribers away from hitting 57,000 on the channel. And I just want to say thank you to all and every one of you. One more note: the audio project that I'm working on related to the Legend of Zelda. I was gonna debut on Monday. I'm sorry I couldn't. Family stuff, and so still working on it. I'll let you guys know when that airs. It's an original story that takes place inside of Hyrule, inside the Legend of Zelda. Zelda's not part of it. Link is not part of it. It's just in the Legend of Zelda, and it's like an audio narrative thing. So you can listen to it it has seasons that I'm working on. So That's coming soon. I'll give you guys more up to date information on the live streams. All right, friends, that's gonna do it for today's NIntopics podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it yourselves tonight. On behalf of Paul, the Queen Joycey, and myself, Mike Odyssey, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you guys in the next one. Before we let you go, got two things we gotta let you know. It's two. There's two. Where's the balloons? There's no balloons. There they are. One, never give up. Don't do it. Zalarath said it in chat. Never give up. And journey on. Paul just flew away for some reason. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
NIntopics Podcast. All things Nintendo.